That is also your regards to him.
Good afternoon, Professor. It is a pleasure to participate in each and every event organized by Fakir Mohan University.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Good, good.
Thank you.
Marina is also with us. Hello, Marina. Can you hear me?
Hello, dear colleagues. I'm here. I'm glad to be.
On your camera, so that you can interact with our vice chancellor, sir, Professor Santosh Kumar Tripathi.
Good afternoon.
Dr. Ram made us all study Indian peace fighters, and it was a pleasure, I should say.
It's nice of him. Actually, he has organized this one. We are very happy that you are all here.
Well, we actually are also very happy, and we opened so many new things for ourselves.
Sir, should we start? Actually, Dr. Mohanty will join a bit later because he has already another meeting. So
we can
around
start.
4 he will join.
Okay. What about Professor Adhikari? Is he there?
Sir, he I think he's gone to some village where network is not coming. So he said he will try.
We can start now.
So warm welcome to our esteemed Vice Chancellor, sir, Professor Santosh Kumar Tripathi, Professor Rakbota Joladas Bekhova, the former Vice Rector of Iranian National University, Nur Sultan, Kazakhstan, and Dean and Professor. Currently, he is working as a professor. And my good friend Dr. Marina Lapenko, Associate Professor, Sarajevo University of Russia. Distinguished guests and participants, senior professor from our department, our university, Professor Sujendra Kumar Desar, Dr. Sunil Kumar Padi sir, and all other esteemed faculty members of Fakir Mohan University, and learned participants all across India. Good afternoon, everyone. Let me extend heartiest wishes to all of us on this eve of 125th birth anniversary of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. He is indeed the only man who knew what it was to be a true Neta, to say leader, pluralist to the core. He united people of every religion, region, caste, creed and color for the common cause. He resigned from civil service, joined the Congress, gained more stature than Gandhiji, and yet he was made to resign due to differences with the Mahatma. Traveled from Kolkata to Germany in disguise to convince the help for independence. Started a really waiting role in the public sphere. Such was the influence of this visionary leader that Clement Attlee, then Prime Minister of UK, had to accept the truth and pronounce that it was an account of Indian National Army and the mutiny that started in the armed forces had forced the British Empire to withdraw, apart from other causes from India. Whatever the story of historians have depicted, but one thing is sure that the idea Netaji had pitched remained ingrained in the life and breath of every Indian. For his indomitable spirit and fearlessness, Netaji will always be remembered in high esteem. Today, on his 125th birth anniversary, the country truly remains indebted to his service. As a mark of respect to remember his contributions to Mother India, today we at Fakir Mohan University, under the leadership of our esteemed Vice Chancellor, Professor Santosh Kumar Tripathi sir, organized this special lecture to address the learned audience. We have with us distinguished speakers from India and abroad. We have with us Professor Akbota Juladas Bekova, from former Vice Rector, Dean, and currently Professor at Ellen Gumilyov Eurasian National University, Nur Sultan, Kazakhstan. We have with us Dr. Sunil Kumar Mohanty. He is a social scientist and basically working as a Kshetra Prachar Pramukh of RSS in Northeast India. He is a pass out from JNU. We have with us Dr. Marina Lapenko, Associate Professor and a good friend of mine at Saratoga State University, Russia. Let me introduce the guest first. Since Dr. Mohanty has not joined, I will start with Professor Akbota Juladas Bekova. She is a political scientist based in Astana, Kazakhstan, with a PhD from Russian Academy of Governmental Services, Moscow, and is engaged in peace research since 2010. After graduating from International Relations, specialization in Al Farabi Kazakh National University in 2003, she has been working with Eurasian National University, one of the top two universities of Kazakhstan, for last 14 years as an associate professor of the International Relations Department and Eurasian Studies Department as a director of the Center of International Studies, as head of the World Regions Department, as a professor of the UNESCO Chair on Ethnic Intolerance. In 2014, she became the head of the External Policy Department in the Academy of Public Administration under the President of the Republic of Kazakhstan. In 2015, she was appointed as a dean and dean of the Faculty of International Relations of the Gamuli of Eurasian National University. She has conducted empirical and practical oriented research in Eurasia, South Asian studies, and works as a guest scholar at Institute of Policy Studies, in Islamabad, Pakistan. She is currently engaged in two major research projects. One is on international cooperation between India and countries, and the other examines the G Global Forum. She has attended, conducted, spoke and presented papers in courses, conferences, seminars in France, India, Pakistan, Russia, Great Britain, Kyrgyzstan, and Turkey. She also served as a special expert on policy and foreign languages. As it was said, she has authored various TV programs on national broadcasting companies like Khabar. She is an active expert and board of members for several international organizations and research groups. Her CV is so vast, but I will only deal with those things. She is a winner of West University Professor, Governmental Grant, highest university distinction in Kazakhstan in 2010, and awarded with the medal for outstanding contribution in the field of education, the Patriots of Kazakhstan. And I'm fortunate enough to have co-authored one book with her. Before Sunil Mohanty sir joins, I will introduce our another distinguished guest, Dr. Marina Lepanko, Vladimir Nova, citizen of the Russian Federation. She is the associate professor in the Department of International Relations and Russian Foreign Policy at the Saratoga State University, named after Cherensky. She is also the director of the non-profit partnership Information and Analytical Center, Eurasian Volga region, visiting professor at the Eurasian National University. Her research interest, includes areas like international relations and the post-Soviet space, Eurasian integration, and international organization. She has authored over 50 scientific and analytical articles, written textbooks, and monographs also. She has more than 10 socially significant projects implemented in Saratoga region and neighboring countries. For example, such as Youth Relation Track, Partnership, Development, Innovation in Modern Diplomacy, Youth Entrepreneurship in the Volga region and Western Kazakhstan, a new stage of an expert dialogue of the border region of the Eurasian Economic Union 2018 and others. In the period from 2007 to 2021, she has organized more than 100 scientific conferences, seminars, webinars in Russia, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Armenia. Now we have Dr. Sunil Mohan with us as well. So let me introduce. Good afternoon, sir. Can you hear me, Dr. Mohanty?
Namaskar. Good afternoon.
So let me introduce Dr. Sunil Mohanty. He is the Kshetra Prachara Prachar Pramukh RSS in the Northeast region, which is called as Northeast Bharat. He is a Swayam Sevak from Balasore. He is the son of Singh, currently working in Assam in the capacity of Kshetra Pramukh with Guwahati as he has joined JNU in School of International Studies for MA in 1992, did his MPhil in Southeast Asian Studies during 1996 to 98, and joined the Institute of Indonesian Studies for research work on East Timor from 1998 to 2000. The peculiarity is that his life journey is coincidentally matching with Netaji. Netaji also hails from Cuttack. Sunil sir has also done his graduation from Wednesday University. Netaji Smarts of Delhi Chalo somewhere reflects his journey. Also, he went to Delhi for pursuing his higher study in JNU. And as we all know, Netaji also instituted its Indian National Army in Singapore, and his thesis is also in Southeast Asia. So somewhere I believe that he would be the better person to depict the role of Subhash Bose in India's freedom struggle, because somehow the great man resemblance. And with this, I would like to request our Vice Chancellor sir to conduct the proceeding and to preside over the meeting. And now I would like to request Professor Agbota Juladas Bekova to start the first lecture. It's over to you, Professor.
Thank you, Dr. Ram. It is actually a surprise, but it is an extreme honor to start today's meeting. Let us call it so. I do not consider myself worthy to call it as a lecture, because we actually, and I think my dear friend, my sister Marina, will be also agreeing, because we are also learning. And thanks to Dr. Ram, we had amazing opportunity to open for our own selves wonderful pages of South Asian history, a history of nation building, a history of building the state and a great nation. I was familiar with nation building movements and intentions of Asia, but somehow, and I was sharing this with Dr. Ram yesterday, Netaji was omitted from my mind for a long time. And just 2 days back, I opened that this is amazing, whatever he did, and his significance in world history. But let us just leave it for a time being, because I would like to stress that Netaji was a product of a great land, which also produced another great personalities, which moved this world. And first of all, the tribute should be for a great nation which gave birth to Netaji. Because in the world history, there are only 3 nations who, as it is agreed both by the historians, philologists, civilizational researchers, that only 3 nations gave birth to epics. One of them are Scandinavians with their epic stories, and this is the wisdom. One of them are us, the Turks, with our epics. And one of them are, no doubt, Indians with their great epics. And of course, this land gave birth to many things. I was actually searching yesterday for some kavitas dedicated to Netaji yesterday. And this thing, tu me kundo, me tu me azadi dunga. But like when we hear these words, you give me your blood, I will give you the freedom. This is not corresponded only to India. This is actually corresponded to all of our part of the world. Let it be South Asia, let it be Central Asia, and also another thing which raises questions is the contradiction that Netaji had with great Gandhi. Gandhi, with his way of this very peaceful understanding of life and the state, and Netaji, who said that without army, without us, Indians being built as a nation with our own power and being able to protect our state, it was not able to do. And in fact, what we see, today's India is also a product of Netaji. Another thing that we yesterday shared with Dr. Ram was that Iqbal, and I have a great passion for Iqbal, the one who inspired Pakistan. But both of them didn't see the partition itself. They didn't see India and Pakistan was made as a state. Yeah, there are many faults. It could be done maybe other way, but maybe not. I was remembering that at the beginning of 20th century, of course, it will be something new for the students who are presented at today's meeting. But you would be, it is a great surprise. But the first Eastern Republic was not India. It was not Pakistan. It was not Turkey with Atatürk, but it was Azerbaijani Republic in 1919. And in 1920, it was a Turkestan Republic, which existed only 2 months. And I'm very proud that my own great-grandfather was the first prime minister of that republic, Muhammed Can Tanışbay, but he was a prime minister only for 1 month. And this republic was done. And the wisdom of Netaji, another disputable thing, is that Netaji was conducting NASIS, but it is not NASIS. Like, if we just look at very wisely, the NASIS he conducted, it was a triple alliance, which was opposing Entente, which was which was initiated by England, the colonial empire, which was over India at that time, France and Russia. And triple alliance, where Japan later on was associated with Germany and Italy. So one thing also that we are forgetting is that at the time of Second World War, Eastern countries as Turkey and Iran, they were also supporting these Germans, Nazis, because they saw it as the regime which can bring them more opportunities that, let us say them, the others, like omitting the fact that today's Kazakhstan and today's Russia was part of Soviet Union, and starting from 1920s and in 1940s it was already Soviet Union. So there are so many deep philosophical things and a very wise strategic approach, I would say, because I analyzed a lot through this couple of days. When we see the significance, because personalities, they make the history. And Netaji's personality made India's history. And of course, the today's generations, those very proud Indians, because no matter that, yes, you do have different type of vision of the state, even in each and every state. And of course, Odisha and Bengal is very different from Punjab and Rajasthan. And it is so much different, say, let us say, from Kerala and all those very Dravidian parts of India, which, to be very truthful, is difficult for us in Kazakhstan to understand. For us, for example, Odisha is the last state that we do understand that we have any kind of information in India. Going further to the south, we know almost nothing, because for us, India starts and ends with Fakir Mohan, with Rabindranath Tagore. India, for the young Kazakhs, is not even a Bollywood, because we no more watch Bollywood. We already do not remember that, in fact, Indians and Turks, we shared the same history starting from 14th history. Those Ghazi who came to rule upon Delhi, they were Turks and Afghans, but led by Afghans. Those Baburids, they were Turks and Afghans, but led by Turks. And of course, Babur is a representative of very famous and common tribe, Barlas, which is now, for example, a part of the oldest Jews of Kazakhs. It is among Uzbeks, it is among Kyrgyz, and so on. But still, he is from our tribes. And a great ethnicity was created. Of course, the students know the life and the way he lived and his idea much better than us, because we do understand him as a peace fighter, or let us say, founding father of the nation, the nation builder, who influenced world history. But you understand his soul. And I actually feel very sorry that I don't speak neither Hindi, of course I don't speak Uriya or Bengali, but my heart can hear when your wonderful poetry you recite and dedicate it to Netaji, to Fakir Mohan, which I witnessed it and listened while being at your wonderful university and while delivering lectures and interacting with the students. And if you permit me, let me tell you my understanding of you people, of you Uriya people. When I met with Northern Indians, whom I really do love, I do have brother in Rajasthan. I do have a family in Bikaner. I do have family in Chandigarh. But then I came, but those are just a family, one family. But then I came to Odisha, and I felt that the whole university is my family. Never in my life I met such a humble people with such a deep knowledge and intention to learn and to study. And my very deep belief that Netaji was created in this Sarzamin of Odisha and Bengal because of you people. You're so humble, but still you do have very brave souls. When you need, you can die for independence, for your country, for your mothers. And I would like to beg you just to remain as you are. The world is yours, and this is I'm addressing to our scholars. The world is open, and as Netaji was like giving his life to create a new state. You just serve your life to make your wonderful country better. And when I visited India first time in 2009, it was JNU. To my previous time, which was in 2015 in Fakir Mohan University, even at that time, India changed a lot. Young Indians changed a lot. And we can say that you do live the life that your founding fathers showed you. In Kazakhstan, just less than 1 month ago, we experienced almost a revolution, almost coup d'etat it was, where the father of the nation, Sultan Nazarbayev, was officially taken out from the power, from his title of the father of the nation, head of the nation, and now we are ruled by the second president, and democratic reforms are taking place. We are living in a time of changes, which you Indians had lived much before. You have 70 years of the history ahead of us. And again, it just came to my mind today, this was also Netaji's strategic vision, that he moved to the right way and he led the nation, inspired the nation to live to the right way. So please do value it and live a happy life in a happy India with no conflict and change this world. Thank you so much. And let us meet in Kazakhstan or in India.
Thank you so much, Professor. It was wonderful to listen to you. I know it is very tough job for you to speak on Netaji, because he's definitely until today unknown to you. But the points that you have raised, the maker of history, the founding father of the nation, and builder of the country, these all definitely are new things that will add to the debate that would be taking place later on. With this, now I invite our next speaker, Dr. Sunil Kumar Mohanty, sir. Sir, it's over to you.
जय जगन्नाथ समस्तंकु फकीर मोहन विश्वविद्यालय respected Vice Chancellor Professor Tripathi sir, the participants of today's webinar on Netaji virtual webinar, Professor Akbota, Professor Adhikari, Professor Lapenko, and the organizer of the program, Dr. Ramkrishna Pradhan, and all the participants of Fakir Mohan University. It's really a pleasure that I am participating this virtual talk from Guwahati, the Assam state itself. Although I originally belong to Baleshwar, and Fakir Mohan University, which is located in Baleshwar itself, is organizing such a beautiful, webinar. So I am congratulating the organizer, Dr. Ramkrishna Pradhan, and guided by Vice Chancellor Professor Tripathi sir, and all the faculty members of Fakir Mohan University. It's wonderful to listen to my previous speaker, Professor Akbota, who knows a lot of things about India, and listening from a beautiful lady like Professor Akbota speaking in praise, applause of our Indian culture, particularly the Oriya people. It's really very, a good feeling. I'm feeling so nice. Thank you, Professor Akbota. I hope you must preserve this feeling good feeling for India and our state Orissa up to your, for longer days, up to the last breath of yours. आज एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण दिन है. I think I should take permission from both the speakers because I will speak sometimes in English and also combined with Hindi, because there are some audience who can understand Hindi, and most of the audience they understand Oriya, I think. So I will combine three things at a time. So I will apply.
Professor Sunil,
Yeah.
you can speak, but you can speak just like in phrases. Then both me and Marina, we will understand. Marina understands Farsi very well, and I also understand Farsi.
Yeah, thank you. So today is a very important day in the history of India, because today we are celebrating the Janma Jayanti, the birth anniversary, 125th birth anniversary of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. And there is another hero, the son of the soil from Odisha itself, Bir Surendra Sai. He was also a very, vigorous, very, I should say, a very much aggressive freedom fighter who fought with his arms and other things against the British. And he was born, both these heroes, Bir Surendra Sai and Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, both were born in the same Orissa. And today we are celebrating both's, birth anniversary. In a particular year, when the whole country is celebrating the 75th independence year, that we are calling as Amrut Mahotsav. So इस दृष्टि से जब हम अमृत महोत्सव मना रहे हैं और साथ साथ 125th बर्थ एनिवर्सरी ऑफ सुभाष बाबू वी आर आल्सो सेलिब्रेटिंग, तो ये एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण साल है. और हम देख रहे हैं कि अब तक जो हीरोज, अनसंग हीरोज भी उनके साथ साथ देश में, जिनको अब तक हम लोग याद ही नहीं करते थे, और जिन हीरोज के प्रति हम जस्टिस नहीं दे पाए थे, न्याय कभी नहीं दे पाए थे, इस वर्ष हम देख रहे हैं उनको लोगों के सामने स्मरण करने का मौका मिल रहा है. जैसे कि नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र बोस को केवल स्मरण ही नहीं कर रहे हैं, कुछ मॉन्यूमेंटल चेंजेस भी हम लोग आज देखने को पा रहे हैं कि इंडिया गेट पर, और हमारे जो अभी के सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र बोस को एक प्रोमिनेंट स्थान पर 28 फीट मूर्ति वहां स्थापित होगा. And I'm very happy again to say that the sculpture, the maker of that granite statue is also from Orissa. He's Sri Gadanayak from Dhenkanal district of Orissa. He will, build the statue. So it's a quite, great pride for all of us. And also at the same time, after 3 days, on 26th of this month, January, when the country will celebrate the Republic Day, on that day, the INA veterans will also be included in the route march that we see every year. So never in the history of Republic India, we had seen on 26th January, the INA was given justice, although they had a great sacrifice for the nation. They died, they had their supreme sacrifice for this nation, but for the first time, they are, being put into the arena, national arena of celebrations. And the third thing, the most important thing, is that the central government has declared that from today onwards, means from 23rd of January, the day when Netaji, was born, up to 26th January, the Republic Day celebrations will continue for these 3 days, not only for this year, but for the years to come. So these are the lot of changes that we find. That narrative of the Indian freedom struggle is getting changed. So we shouldn't think that these are just monumental changes, but these are the changes, transformations we see as far as the discourse of Indian history, Indian freedom struggle is concerned. So it's a very great moment. Now coming to the life of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, I am, as the as Dr. Ramkrishna Pradhan told few minutes ago that I am from the same, city where Netaji was born. I studied, 3 years from Cuttack. So I had a lot of, feel of Netaji during those 3 years, because Netaji was born in Sheikh Bazar of, in Cuttack. So that's a great thing. And also the college from where Netaji, studied his childhood, the primary school, it was called Ravenshaw Collegiate School. And during those time, Ravenshaw College, today's Ravenshaw University campus, was utilized by Ravenshaw Collegiate School then for, the running of the school. So the same campus we studied in Ravenshaw College, now it has become Ravenshaw University. So it's a matter of pride that the same buildings, same red buildings that once Netaji had visited to study, we also studied from the same, place. So it's a quite kind of touching moment. And as everybody knows that Netaji was born in Cuttack in 23rd January 1897 from his father Janakinath Bose and Prabhavati Devi. And also from the childhood itself, he was a very kind of cavalier kind of person. पराक्रमी शुरू से ही रहे हैं, एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी रहे हैं. एक छोटी सी घटना मेरे को स्मरण आ रहा है, कटक शहर के साथ जुड़ी हुई घटना. महानदी के बगल में जो धवलेश्वर शिव मंदिर है, उस शिव मंदिर में माता प्रभावती देवी जी के साथ सुभाष बाबू जाते हैं पूजा अर्चना करने के लिए एक सोमवार, सुंदर सोमवार में. और वहां शिव जी की जो प्रतिमा को देखकर कि शिव जी एक सफेद रंग के पहाड़ के चोटी पर बैठ करके ध्यान कर रहे हैं, तो माताजी को बेटा सुभाष पूछ रहा है कि माँ, ये जो भगवान शिव जो बर्फ से ढका हुआ जो पहाड़ है, कैलाश पहाड़ कहा, कैलाश पर्वत, उस पर्वत के ऊपर बैठ करके पूजा कर रहे हैं, लेकिन बर्फ की ठंड उनको कोई इफेक्ट नहीं कर रहा है क्या? क्योंकि शिव जी भगवान कुछ वस्त्र, केवल एक बाघ का छाल पहने हुए हैं और कुछ नहीं पहने हुए हैं, शरीर उनका बेयर बॉडी है, एक प्रकार का खाली है, तो उनको ठंड नहीं लगती है क्या? माता प्रभावती देवी उनको जवाब देती हैं कि बेटा, ये जो वस्त्र शिव जी नहीं पहन करके भी इतना ठंड सहन कर रहे हैं, ये इसीलिए कि शिव जो है भगवान, ये बहुत बड़े साधक रहे हैं, तपश्चर्या में हमेशा रहते थे, कष्ट झेलने की आदत उनको है, इसीलिए वो ठंड को भी बर्दाश्त कर पा रहे हैं. तब अगला प्रश्न सुभाष पूछता है माँ प्रभावती को कि माँ, कि क्या मैं भी आज से उस प्रकार तपश्चर्या साधना का जीवन बिताना शुरू करूंगा तो मैं भी ऐसे कष्ट झेलने की आदत हो सकती है? तो माँ बोली क्यों नहीं बेटा. एंड उसके बाद फिर बालक सुभाष का दिनचर्या, जीवनचर्या, ये दोनों बदल जाता है. बालक सुभाष सुबेरे अर्ली मॉर्निंग उठ करके शारीरिक मेहनत, दंड बैठक जो करना, वो सारे फिजिकल एक्सरसाइज करना. और चूंकि उनके पिताजी जानकीनाथ उस समय में कटक में सबसे बड़े वकील थे, पैसा में कमी नहीं थी, लेकिन अपना अच्छा बिस्तर को छोड़कर नीचे सामान्य चटाई के ऊपर सो करके भी बेटा सुभाष एक सामान्य जीवन कैसे जीने का जो अभ्यास उस समय से उसने प्रारंभ किया, जिस प्रकार के कि शिव जी के प्रतिमा को देखकर उसने एक प्रकार का प्रेरणा ली थी. और वही साधना, तपश्चर्या, कष्ट झेलने की जो अभ्यास बचपन से, बाद में जब वो जो नजरबंद अवस्था से कलकत्ता से निकलकर और वो अफगानिस्तान होकर आगे आल्प्स माउंटेन क्रॉस करते हुए रसिया पहुंचता है, रसिया से फिर जर्मन जाता है, तो उस प्रकार का अलग अलग साधनों से जाने के बावजूद भी, इतना अलग अलग वेराइटीज ऑफ वेदर, क्लाइमेट चेंज के बावजूद भी वो सहन करने की आदत उसको थी. और ज्यादा समय तो सुभाष बाबू का अलग अलग देशों में, यूरोपियन कंट्रीज में, साउथ ईस्ट एशियन कंट्रीज में, ये सब नहीं बिताए. तो अलग अलग क्लाइमेटिक, टोपोग्राफिक चेंजेस के बावजूद भी शरीर की ये जो साधना करने की आदत उनको बहुत बड़ा हेल्प किया था. बचपन से ही उन्होंने, जब पढ़ाई के समय में उनके जो प्रेरणा स्रोत थे, उस समय में जो उनके स्कूल के हेडमास्टर बेनी माधव दास, वो अपने जीवन में 3 गुरुओं के बारे में विशेष अपने ऑटोबायोग्राफी में स्थान देते हैं. स्टूडेंट डेज में, जब किशोर अवस्था में, बेनी माधव दास जी उनको काफी प्रेरित किए थे. एक फॉर्मेटिव स्टेज में जब बालक रहता है, उस समय में एक गुरु किस रूप में उसको राष्ट्र, समाज, धर्म, संस्कृति के बारे में प्रेरित करता है, वही बेनी माधव दास जी की प्रेरणा ही उसके एक अत्यंत श्रेष्ठ उदाहरण है। उसके साथ साथ सॉरी, उसके बाद जब वो थोड़ा सा समझना शुरू किए जीवन क्या है, संस्कृति क्या है, धर्म क्या है, तब उन्होंने अपने विचार में पाए उनके स्पिरिचुअल गुरु स्वामी विवेकानंद जी को। स्वामी विवेकानंद जी को उन्होंने एक बहुत बड़ा श्रेय देते हैं, उनके जो एक प्रकार के अध्यात्म को समझने में, राष्ट्रभक्ति को और नजदीक से एक प्रकार का ओतप्रोत होने में, और यहाँ तक कि 10वीं परीक्षा के पश्चात जो समर ब्रेक आता है, उस समर ब्रेक में उन्होंने 3-4 महीना का जो छुट्टी रहती है, उसमें काफी बड़े समय में जाकर घर छोड़कर हरिद्वार चले गए। घर में किसी को भी बताए नहीं थे। घर वाले तो स्वाभाविक था कि परेशान हुए, लेकिन नेताजी बाद में कुछ दिन के पश्चात लौट करके आते हैं, एक प्रकार का आध्यात्मिक तेज, आध्यात्मिक प्रेरणा लेकर के आते हैं। और तीसरे जो गुरु उनके पॉलिटिकल गुरु थे, 1921 के बाद जब वो पॉलिटिक्स में आते हैं, इंडियन सिविल सर्विस को छोड़कर, उस समय में चित्तरंजन दास जो कलकत्ता के थे, उनके प्रेरणा से उन्होंने एक प्रकार का राजनीति को और करीब से समझे। और मैं यहाँ कहना चाहूंगा कि बचपन की पढ़ाई के पश्चात उन्होंने 1912 और 15 में प्रेसिडेंसी कॉलेज जो कलकत्ता में था, वहां पढ़ने के लिए जाते हैं। वहां प्रोफेसर ओटेन के साथ उनका जो एक प्रकार का जो फ्रिक्शन होता है, वो बड़ा एक अच्छा समझने के लिए, सुनने के लिए बहुत अच्छा लगता है, क्योंकि उस समय में प्रोफेसर ओटेन, being proud of a colonizing country, was having a kind of look down feeling about India and Indians. So प्रोफेसर ओटेन हमेशा एंटी इंडिया कमेंट्स क्लासरूम्स में करना, ये कॉलेज में सब लोग जानते थे उनके बारे में। और यहाँ तक कि कभी कभी गुस्से आने के बाद वो कुछ स्टूडेंट्स को मैन हैंडलिंग भी करने का एक प्रकार का इल फेमस उनके साथ जुड़ा हुआ था। और इस दृष्टि से सुभाष बाबू और उनके साथ मिलकर के एक उनके बारे में कहते हैं कि प्रोफेसर ओटेन को एक प्रकार का उन्होंने असल्ट किए, और जिसके कारण उनको प्रेसिडेंसी कॉलेज से निकाला गया था। बाद में 2 साल के गैप के पश्चात 1917 से 1919 तक वो स्कॉटिश चर्च कॉलेज में फिर दोबारा दाखिल लिए। और फिर उसके बाद उनके परिवार चूंकि उनको चाहता था कि वो पढ़ाई करने के लिए आईसीएस पास करे, इसके लिए उनको कैम्ब्रिज भेजा। कैम्ब्रिज में 1919 से 21 2 वर्ष वो कैम्ब्रिज में रहे। चूंकि नेताजी ब्रिलियंट थे, शुरू से ही कुशाग्र बुद्धि के थे, उस दृष्टि से उन्होंने आईसीएस भी बहुत अच्छे रैंक में, 4th रैंक में, 4था रैंक में वो पास किए। और फिर भारत जब लौटे 16 जुलाई 1921 शिप, जल जहाज के माध्यम से वो लौटे और मुंबई में पहुंचे। यहाँ उसी दिन यानी कि 16 जुलाई 1921 is a very important day for Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, because the day he arrived in Mumbai, and also the same day he got an appointment with Mahatma Gandhi ji, and the first meeting itself was, the morning, as we say that morning shows the day. So the first meeting itself didn't go well, because Gandhiji's ideas, his thoughts, his kind of discourse was not akin with what Netaji was thinking. And also there was a gap of the years. When Netaji was 21 years young man that time, Gandhiji in 1921 was 51 years old. So a kind of age gap, a kind of generation gap, we can say. But what Netaji later on writes in his memoirs, autobiography, The Indian Freedom Struggle, that in the first meeting itself, he was having an impression that Gandhiji was unclear, not having a thorough plan about independence, and particularly about the means and ends. माध्यम क्या होना चाहिए और स्वाधीनता का लक्ष्य क्या होना चाहिए, किस माध्यम से, मेथोडोलॉजी से स्वाधीनता को लड़ाई करना चाहिए, और हमारे स्वाधीनता के अंतिम आखिरी लक्ष्य क्या है। On this issue of means and ends, he was having a kind of friction with Mahatma Gandhiji, because Netaji was having an idea that whatever means can be available to get independence should be acceptable, which Gandhiji was not. He was opposed to it. That is the reason why, that first meeting itself was having a kind of friction. And also, although they had a kind of ideological differences, frictions, but both of them, both Netaji and Gandhiji, both respected each other. Netaji was, had given the title to Gandhiji as patriot of the patriots, and Gandhiji also had given the title to Netaji, the prince among the patriots. So this kind of exchange of, feelings, good feelings between each other, although having ideological differences, methodological differences they had, but they were respecting each other's, sacrifice for the nation. So also Netaji, in the beginning itself, he was so vibrant, so dynamic. He 1923 में ही वो ऑल इंडिया यूथ कांग्रेस के प्रेसिडेंट बन जाते हैं, और फिर बाद में 1938 में आईएनसी का प्रेसिडेंट भी बनते हैं, और सेकेंड टाइम और त्रिपुरा का जो सेशन में कांग्रेस, ऑल इंडिया कांग्रेस सेशन में, वो सेकेंड टाइम 1939 में भी कांग्रेस प्रेसिडेंट बनते हैं. एंड नॉट ओनली दैट, ही डिफीटेड द गांधीजी चॉइस पट्टाभी सिद्धरामैया in a good margin of votes. So that shows that how much popular Netaji was, despite the overlapping of influence of Gandhiji on Indian Congress. So not only that, he was so brilliant कि उस समय में जब न्यूज़पेपर सीआर दास ने, चित्तरंजन दास ने फॉरवर्ड करके एक न्यूज़पेपर निकाले, उस न्यूज़पेपर के लिए नेताजी को ही एडिटर के नाते वो रखे, और बाद में नेताजी भी स्वराज करके एक न्यूज़पेपर चलाए, उसका वो स्वयं ही उस न्यूज़पेपर को स्टार्ट किए और चलाए. साथ साथ उनकी जो ऑटोबायोग्राफी, उन्होंने द इंडियन स्ट्रगल 2 वॉल्यूम्स में लिखते हैं. फर्स्ट वॉल्यूम तो 1935 में ही पब्लिश हो गया था, लेकिन सेकंड, ये बचपन का कहानी था, स्टूडेंट डेज का जो एक प्रकार के उनके ड्रीम्स, उनके विचार था. लेकिन जो सेकंड वॉल्यूम था उसमें उनके पॉलिटिकल आइडियाज था. उस पॉलिटिकल आइडियाज के कारण ब्रिटिश को लगा कि शायद ये नेताजी का जो ये बुक है कुछ एक्सप्लोसिव, कुछ इस पर बारूद उसमें हो सकता है, इसीलिए उसको वो बैन कर दिए, जो कि 1948 में आफ्टर इंडिया 1947 that book second volume was published. And what is important to remember today is that Netaji was a fighter to its core. He was imprisoned 11 times in a short span of 20 years only, starting from 1921 to 1941. तो 11 बार एक व्यक्ति अपने जीवन काल में 20 वर्ष के जो स्वाधीनता संग्राम के जीवन काल में भारत में, और वो 11 बार वो जेल जाते हैं. ये अपने आप में बताता है कि नेताजी किस प्रकार के पराक्रमी थे. आज अगर भारत सरकार उनके जन्मदिन को पराक्रम दिवस के रूप में मना रहा है, मैं समझता हूं कि नेताजी की सही विचार, सही सोच, उनके एक्टिविटीज को ही एक प्रकार का पराक्रमी दिवस ही रिप्रेजेंट ही करता है. और केवल इतना ही नहीं, 1925 में उनको मंडालय जैसा जेल में भी उनको दंड मिला था. मंडालय जेल वाज सो इनफेमस बिकॉज ऑफ मलेरिया एंड डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ untreatable diseases, but he was given jail in 1925. And also when he got another phase of jail sentence in 1930 for joining civil disobedience movement against the Britishers, so he was also given jail punishment. अब ब्रिटिश को लगा कि इनको तो भारत में रखना ठीक नहीं है, क्योंकि ये तो जब भी इतना जेल दंड के बावजूद भी ये सुधर नहीं रहे हैं नेताजी, तो उनको यूरोप में डिपोर्ट कर दिया गया, और यूरोप में 1930 में ही डिपोर्ट कर दिया गया. और उसके बाद उनके पिताजी का जब निधन होता, जानकीनाथ बोस जो एडवोकेट रहे हैं, तो उस डेथ के समय में कुछ दिन के लिए ही मात्र उनको कुछ जो रिलीजियस सेरेमोनियल रिचुअल्स होते हैं उसके लिए उनको वहां से यूरोप से यहाँ आने के लिए अनुमति मिलता है. और उसके बाद उनका स्वाधीनता संग्राम का जो ईयर्स चलता है, लगातार चलता है, लेकिन 1939 के जो उनका जो कांग्रेस के साथ मतभिन्नता के कारण डिजाइन देकर वो फॉरवर्ड ब्लॉक बनाते हैं, और बाद में फिर वहां छोड़कर विदेश में इंडियन नेशनल आर्मी भी बनाते हैं. वो घटना यहाँ उनके पराक्रम के बारे में स्मरण करना आज के दिन में भी आवश्यक है. क्योंकि 1941 में वो हाउस अरेस्ट तगड़ा जो उनके चारों तरफ से घेराबंदी कवच, सुरक्षा का कवच था उनके ऊपर नजर रखने के लिए, उसको तोड़कर उनके बड़े भैया शिशिर बोस के साथ वो निकल के पहुंचते हैं कलकत्ता से गोमो। आज गोमो जो है झारखंड, इट बिलोंग्स टू झारखंड स्टेट टुडे, एंड आई एम हैप्पी दैट दिस प्रेजेंट गवर्नमेंट हैज चेंज्ड द नेम ऑफ गोमो स्टेशन इनटू नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र बोस गोमो स्टेशन. So it's a very good thing that now the legacy of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose is properly, justified, properly given justice. And from Gomo itself, he traveled in different routes to Afghanistan, which was known as Northwest Frontier region that time. And from Northwest Frontier region, by means of different means of communication, he reached to Moscow. And by the help of German embassy in Moscow, he again reached to Germany in 1943. And in 1943, he had an interaction with that time's, German Chancellor, Hitler. And in Germany also, he founded the Free India Center in Berlin in 1941. And also from the German, radio, which he gave the name as Azad Hind Radio. He gave his address to the Indians. So it was so inspiring addresses Netaji often was giving in Azad Hind through Azad Hind Radio. And also by means of 4,500 Indian soldiers, those who had fought First World War in North Africa under the Axis force. And though that time they were imprisoned under Germany, and by means of his communication with Hitler, the ruler in Germany that time, he freed them and created Indian Legion. बट यहाँ एक विषय जो आता है कि इंडियन लेजियन जो है, उनको बाद में ध्यान में आता है कि ये हिटलर का मंसूबा, हिटलर के मन में क्या है. ही हैड डाउट इन हिटलर्स माइंडसेट, क्योंकि उनको लगा कि हिटलर का जो मोटिव है, रियल मोटिव है, वो ये इंडियन जो लेजियन है, जो 4,500 इंडियन लोगों के माध्यम से प्रिजनर ऑफ वार्स को मुक्त करा करके बनाया गया है, उसको यूज करके कहीं ना कहीं ये एक प्रोपागंडा विक्ट्री अगेंस्ट द ब्रिटिशर्स, क्योंकि ब्रिटिशर्स के साथ उनके साथ उस समय में वर्ल्ड वॉर की लड़ाई शुरू हो गया था, उसमें जितना वो चाहते हैं, वो जब उनको ध्यान में आया कि हिटलर इज यूजिंग आवर लेजियन फॉर हिज ओन पर्पसेस, सो ही started looking at a different direction. So in 1943, he started his next journey through a Germany submarine. He went to Madagascar, and again he changed another submarine. That submarine was arranged by the Japanese, and by that Japanese submarine from Madagascar, he arrived in Malay Islands, because that time Malay was captured because of World War II, Malay was captured by the Japanese forces. So he reached Japan, Japan occupied Malay, and from Malay itself, he later reached to Japan, and वहाँ जापान के रूलर्स लोगों के साथ उनकी डायलॉग होती है और चुक्तिनामा होता है, और उसके कारण 85,000 जो इंडियन प्रिजनर ऑफ वार्स थे, उनको मुक्त करा करके नेताजी बाद में सिंगापुर में और इंडियन नेशनल आर्मी आजाद हिंद फौज की स्थापना करते हैं. और बाद में चूंकि मैं साउथ ईस्ट एशिया में, इंडोनेशिया और सिंगापुर ये सब में 2 साल रहा हूं, और वहां नेताजी को आज भी बहुत एक उच्च नजर में, एक अच्छे नजर में, अच्छे भाव में लोग देखते हैं. एक बहुत बड़ी बात है. वहां जो पर्ल आइलैंड है सिंगापुर में, वो नेताजी वहां भाषण भी दिए हैं, वहां आज भी स्मारक है. और उस समय में नेताजी के कुछ विचार जो है ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है. नेताजी वाज इन फेवर, ही वाज अ वेरी प्रोग्रेसिव थिंकर बियॉन्ड हिज टाइम. Rather, we should say he was not a politician of his time. He was a statesman of the time to come for the future generations also. जिस समय में महिलाओं के बारे में इतनी आजादी नहीं थी, महिलाओं को स्वतंत्रता का एक प्रकार का बंधन था, उस समय में महिला एम्पावरमेंट के बारे में नेताजी बोलते हैं कि मैं भारतीय महिला के सामर्थ्य से भली भांति परिचित हूं. इसीलिए मैं निश्चित रूप से कह सकता हूं कि ऐसा कोई कार्य नहीं है जिसे हमारी नारियां नहीं कर सकती हैं, और कोई बलिदान अथवा कष्ट ऐसा नहीं है जिसे वे सहन ना कर सकें। यहाँ तक कि वो एक स्टेटमेंट ये देते हैं कि जब तक भारत के नारियां नहीं जगेंगी, भारत तब तक नहीं जग सकता है। यहाँ मैं समझता हूँ कि हमारे आज के जो वेबिनार में बहुत बड़ी संख्या में हमारे बहनें हैं, सिस्टर्स आर देयर एंड लेडी प्रोफेसर्स आर देयर। आई थिंक this is the highest kind of eulogization about Indian womanhood given by Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Or Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose didn't just think of Indian women in his thoughts, in his ideas, but in practice, in activities also. He proved it in 1943 while addressing the crowd in Singapore, a vast crowd. He asked unit of the brave women to form a death defying regiment। और डेथ डिफाइंग रेजिमेंट वो केवल भाषण देकर के रुके नहीं, रानी झांसी रानी लक्ष्मीबाई कम्बाट रेजिमेंट का भी स्थापना किए और बहुत बड़ी संख्या में उस रेजिमेंट में हमारे जो भारतीय महिला उस समय वहां थी और बड़ी संख्या में पार्टिसिपेट किए। और उसके बाद वो आते हैं, अंडमान निकोबार को कब्जा करते हैं, फिर रेंगून पहुंचते हैं। रेंगून से 3 रास्ता लेकर के, आप सोचिए कि एक रास्ता, क्योंकि उस समय ब्रिटिश लोग जागरूक हो चुके थे, ब्रिटिश रेंगून वाज आल्सो अंडर ब्रिटिश इंडिया, ब्रिटिश राज। सो नेताजी थॉट दैट इफ इन वन